everyone, it's Tracy Higginbotham of Women Ties and also 261 Fearless, putting together a video today because I had a thought that came over me yesterday when I was at an event. I was explaining, as you can see, I'm wearing my beautiful Boston Marathon jacket. I was explaining to some of the women who hadn't seen me since I completed the Boston Marathon with Team 261 Fearless, what the Boston Marathon meant to me in terms of not only from sports success, but also how it related to my actual business. And I thought I would share it with you today. I know a lot of my 261 Fearless friends are training for the New York City Marathon to run with Catherine, and I am back in training mode to run a half marathon here in Syracuse with my much younger siblings, Chad and Bree, who were so inspired by my Boston run that they want to run here with me. So I'm back on a training schedule, and they're much younger than I am. So I feel like I've got to really get going. But this is what I learned from Boston, which has to do with either fundraising for the Boston Marathon, some of you were fundraising for the New York City Marathon, and in business, is that you really can't do anything from start to finish without doing things and activities and tasks in increments. So just like a woman entrepreneur can go from making $20,000 a year in sales to $1 million in sales within 1 year, she needs to go in intervals. Perhaps have a step that goes from 20,000 in sales to 100,000, 100,000 to 250, etc., till she gets the $1 million sales mark. And it's really the same in running long distance. I was always a 2 to 3 mile everyday runner, and when I knew that I committed to 26.2 miles, the only way that I could get to completing that length of a run was to every week add a mile or so onto my long runs. So all of a sudden, 5 miles, which I was able to do pretty well. When I did the 8 miles, I realized, hey, you know what, I've already done the 5, I can do the 8, and so on and so on. When I ran in Boston, actually the only mile markers I remembered was the 1st, the 3rd, the 13th, and the 20th before I crossed the finish line. I don't know what happened to me between then, but I just knew by looking at the mile markers and the increments that I could get to my goal of 26.2 miles and finish that race on time, but I had to do it in increments. So I hope that helps you today. Also, when I had to raise about $8,000 for 261 Fearless for the Boston Marathon, the only way I could do that too was start with small donations, and eventually started with no money and ended up at raising $8,000. I didn't do it all in one day. It took a while to do it. So in business today, or in sports, or if you're in the middle of a fundraising activity, make sure that you set realistic increments from start to finish, and you'll be able to achieve your goal by actually hitting smaller goals until you get to that really big one. So I hope this information helps you today. I hope it inspires you to think of life incrementally and build steps towards your longest goal. And I'm here to help, especially if you're a 261 Fearless girl, raising money and training for New York City, or in raising money for one of our charity bib runs, which we have in San Antonio, December 2nd and 3rd. You can find out more information at 261fearless.org. And if you need me at Women Ties, womenties.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day.